When I give this AI some input text, it will generate more text for us. Let's use this to create Deltarune Chapter 3 before it releases. Last time, Chris was possessed by a dark force. Susie, Toriel and her younger brother De Amigo ended up at a space pirate navy station, and now a blue-haired girl wants to join them. Hey, slow down there, buddy, Susie intervened. The blue-haired girl looked at her. Neither do we need babysitters, she gazed at the bodyguards. Nor do we want to be babysitters, Susie stated mockingly, smirking at the girl. We don't care about your space pirate portal or whatever. We need to find a dark fountain. Toriel and De Amigo remained silent. The blue-haired girl was a bit upset. Do you even know who I am? I'm a pilot for, like, the Red Wings. Are you even serious? Really? De Amigo asked. Yep, really, the girl replied. The portal leads to a place in Voss. A place I've been looking for. Oh! De Amigo nervously scratched his head. He acts as if he knows what she's saying. Is it just a bluff? Where's that? Toriel asked. Voss. Well, The blue-haired girl didn't know how to answer, her face going a bit pale. Excuse me, there's an explosion behind you. The three-headed dog teleported into the room. What do we do? He asked, and received a response in the form of a beep from his earpiece. This story is way more bonkers than AI tale. We need to get out of here, the puppy said into the small radio device. That was Max. She told us about a portal that leads to Voss. Voss is an abandoned country where they once had a lot of Charlight technology that could help defend against the diabolical monsters that spread to Baal Egom's territory. Just what we needed, a three-headed puppy that functions as a lore dump. Maybe those monsters are our true antagonists. What do you think, De Amigo? Toriel asked. Darn, let's go! De Amigo took the blue-haired girl by the hand and started to run. They are going to Voss! Oh dear! Toriel, now alone, closed her eyes in despair. What about Susie? Does she not count? De Amigo seems to be pretty bold, but maybe he just wants to impress the girl, I don't know. I guess the story now splits into two groups. He'll be fine. We can catch up with him later. Susie tried to calm down Toriel. First my son was possessed by a dark force, and now my little brother is going to fight alien monsters. I can't just act as if nothing happened, Toriel answered. And how are we supposed to find the dark fountain in this endless space world? Well, I guess we do need these space pirate bodyguards to lead us. It's their job anyways. Toriel's eyes widened a bit.
Don't worry,
responded the giant.
I'll keep him out of trouble.
The two grew silent and looked at each other. I wonder how everyone else is doing, said Toriel. The space pirate bodyguards... what did you say their names were again? Asked Susie. They were King Narlik and Amethyst, answered Toriel. And the group's in Space Pirate Beach. I see. I have to say, I'm not surprised that they have trouble finding the beach, said Toriel.
I don't really have a life. After all, I do have some responsibilities as leader of the Sacred Order.
A lot is going on here. I guess the giant is one of those four bodyguards. Cloud, King Narlik, Amethyst, and the fourth one. King Narlik sounds like a large person, so I'll pick him as the giant. And we didn't even react to the explosion the puppy mentioned, let's do that now. Susie inspected the hole left by the explosion. We should talk later. This doesn't seem to be a safe place. Toriel reluctantly agreed. Susie continued. A large group would make us an easy target. Let's keep the size low. She looked at the space pirate Amethyst, one of their bodyguards. Hey, you're Amethyst, right? Can you lead us somewhere that would make our search for the dark fountain in this outer space world easier? Amethyst shook her head. I don't know much about this world, so I wouldn't know where to go. Man, these people are so useless. Susie smiled, pleased. Why is she pleased? This makes no sense. Would you be willing to explore this place in my stead? We would be grateful. She thought a bit before speaking again. I'm actually in search of the same place. I should probably be going soon. Amethyst frowned but put on a neutral expression. She assured, we would all be happy to explore this land with you. We're young and stupid, so I'm pretty sure we can get there on our own. Who hired this woman? I wouldn't even entrust her with taking out the trash. Susie shook her head. That's what we're afraid of. We don't know what kind of monsters there are, or how large they are, so I think it would be better if I show you where to go. All I need is a hero. That would be me, Susie stated with confidence. But enough of this nonsense. Let's search for the Black Fountain. Susie, Toriel and Amethyst left the space station. The three descended to the beach area and then to the forest area. The sign Gru's Forest stood out. A small trinket with a magical item, a gem, rested on top of the trees. The Black Fountain is under here, Amethyst said. Let's see what's around, Toriel suggested. Yes, let's look around instead of digging a hole or something. She has clearly no clue what she's saying. Toriel and Amethyst explored the area. Amethyst navigated the area to a small shrine containing a number of, simply speaking, wooden guns. These look familiar. Something about them reminds me of earlier, Amethyst said. She pointed to the wooden guns. Toriel, what exactly do those guns do? Toriel had a bad feeling about this. She knew something was amiss, and she knew she would probably regret it, but she didn't want to be disobedient. No, but I know one thing, Amethyst explained. Those guns are cursed. They cause everyone who holds one to die in combat. Well, a few will survive it, but that's about it. Do you know of any weapons that are more powerful than these? Or are they completely broken? Amethyst asked. It's been a while, but I do remember a weapon that could cause people to die in combat. What is it? Toriel recalled. That's an interesting idea. So these guns are overpowered, but if you use them you might die. Risk versus reward. So let me get this straight. These curse guns are powerful, but if you use them you will most likely die in battle? Susie wanted to know. Toriel hated the idea. I will stick with my sword. We only need weapons to defend ourselves in this forest. These guns seem excessive. Amethyst wasn't quite sure what to think. She liked the idea of shooting her enemies, but not in this particular way. So, there's no need to use a gun? Only swords? Auntie asked. Is that her nickname? That's right. We may need to use guns in the future, but I don't think we need one now. Why? Would it make you happy to see a weaker being killed by a stronger weapon? Like if a child did this to his mother. Then... Auntie put her hand over the mouth of the little girl. Her own mouth? There are no little girls around. I hate that kind of mind. I would never kill anyone. But if I did, I wouldn't do it just to be cute. In the old days, you had to have a real threat to make something like that work. Who the heck kills people to be considered cute? Toriel has some really weird ideas. Let's switch over to the amigo and look what he's doing. Meanwhile, the amigo and the girl with the blue hair were heading towards the space portal to Foss. Her black helmet completely covered her face, making the amigo curious what she looks like. He tried to start a conversation while the two of them were running. By the way, what's your name? She chuckled, speeding ahead of him. I'm Storm, nice to meet you. She made a hard-to-see face. That's not that difficult when your face is completely covered by a helmet. The amigo looked at her, surprised. He then, in response, smiled. Wow, you're pretty cool for a girl. Very poor choice of wording there. She smiled back at him, then laughed. You think so? You're so weird. He sure is. She then made a concerned face. "What's up?" He then nodded. "Yeah, what's going on?" She laughed again. "Seriously, what's going on? You know what? I could never figure you out." He just smiled. "I told you, you're weird," she said as she continued running. He definitely has no clue how to talk to girls. The amigo just made a huff. The two finally arrived at the end of their run. The girl put on her helmet, she already wears, and jumped into the portal. The amigo waited a second for her to come back, but nothing happened. The amigo then looked at the portal curiously. Come on," he said as he began to walk over to it. The girl looked back at him and then followed. Wasn't she just ahead of him? The amigo looked at the girl, wondering what's wrong. "I don't think we're in Foss," the girl replied. "Why not?" the amigo asked. "The portal's open. It means we're not in Foss," the amigo shrugged. "Well, let's head to the town." They both took off down the mountain and started walking towards the town. They didn't walk for long though, as a rumbling noise started behind them. They both quickly looked at each other and then both hid behind a tree. Something large came into sight, and the amigo could make out several people behind it. A scared and confused look on the girl's face. She was so scared there was no fitting verb to describe it. Don't be scared. It's just... I thought I saw a monster or something back there," she said. The amigo then looked around, confused. He then heard the girl's voice once again. "I don't see anything," the amigo replied. Then, all of a sudden, the ground began to shake. A few seconds after, a large hole opened up, and a large beast made its way out. The two of them started running towards the hole, and the girl then shouted to the amigo. "The amigo, you need to get out of here! That thing is really big!" The amigo got out of his hiding and looked at the beast. It was a 10-foot tall monster with sharp and shiny teeth, and a sickly red oozing substance on its face. Let's be real, that's blood. And I'm wondering whether this is one of those dangerous monsters the three-headed dog warned us about. The amigo was frozen in place. The giant, blood-smeared monster stared into his fearful eyes, ready to eat him. Storm was desperately trying to make the amigo run away, but her words didn't reach him. He was shivering, unable to think. But he also had a million thoughts rushing through his mind simultaneously. Was this already the end? Was he never going to see Toril again? Find out in the next part of
AI Rune.